There are three fronts to the criticism idubbbz is facing right now. The first is that his girlfriend is a bad person, which people are free to argue, but that's completely tangential to what I'm going to be talking about. I haven't looked into it because I don't really care about drama surrounding this person I know nothing about. The second is this theory that he's in denial and deep down he's actually not cool with this, which, I guess I can see how the way he said that particular line could be interpreted as forced.
And I think all of it is cool. Yeah.
But I don't really think it's wise to theory craft about someone's personal life based solely on the delivery of one line. If he does end up secretly having a problem with it, we'll just have to wait and see. I won't completely deny the possibility, although I'm personally leaning towards the assumption that he's actually fine. The third front that I'm going to be focusing on is the hordes among hordes of people trying to cancel him because, Cuck! Cuck! You're a cuck! I thought you were better than this! Let's talk about that, maybe? Why am I making this video? Is it in the vague hope that talking about popular drama will get me subscribers? Yes. I don't plan on making a video like this every time some drama happens, only when I feel like I have something to say and I'm not just adding on to the pile of clout chasers by giving the same history lesson 5,000 people already stretched out to 10 minutes. For those who need the history lesson, idubbbz's girlfriend started an OnlyFans where she sells lewd photos to people, and he made a video saying he's cool with it. Alright, history class is over now. Who's ready for some motherfucking gender studies? Men are fucking stupid. I say this as one. When I was a young teenager who still believed in a homophobic Christian god, I would have these pink elephant moments where I was trying so hard to not be gay that I'd think of the phrase, I'm gay, and because I thought of it, I got scared that God would hear my thoughts and think I'm gay, so I'd immediately follow it up by saying, no, I'm not gay, I'm not gay! When bronies became a thing, I made a post on a forum I frequented saying, hang on a second, this whole brony thing, isn't it kind of... it's a show made for little girls, aren't these guys worried about seeming kinda gay? There are men who would consider themselves cucks if they ever even allowed their girlfriends to have a conversation with another man. Now, I don't believe this kind of dumbassery stems directly from gender, but there's this commonly shared male upbringing that leads to this mindset of how men think they're supposed to act. These are fragments of an obsolete ideology seeping their way into newer generations via flawed parenting, regressive media, and self-propagating peer pressure. Society. I'm starting to sound like a pretentious asshole, so I should probably go into specifics now. I'm about to explain some things that are going to sound like obvious common sense to some and profound heresy to others. First of all, let's talk about insults. In order for an insult to have any meaning whatsoever, it needs to both imply something negative about the insultee as well as have some sort of truth to it. If you told me that I looked like a member of the Beatles who attempted to transition into being a woman and then gave up halfway, that'd be a meaningful insult. You're implying something negative by saying I look like a mid-20th century boy band member when in reality I want to look like a cute modern androgyne, and the insult carries some truth to it because, look at me. But consider the insults simp and cuck when applied to idubbbz. Simp implies something negative. It's foolish to treat women as goddesses whom you have to dish out thousands of dollars for in the hopes that they'll grace you with a fleeting glance. But it carries no truth in regards to idubbbz. Nothing even tangential to that definition applies to him. He's already in a relationship of presumably equal social power with his girlfriend. If anyone's a simp, it'd be the people paying money to his girlfriend's OnlyFans. Cuck could theoretically carry some truth in regards to him, but it depends on how you define it. If you're going by the strict traditional definition of cuckold, which describes someone whose partner has sex with someone else, then, well, no. If you want to broaden it to encapsulate any sort of sexual intimacy being shared with other people, then... I don't even think she's becoming personally involved with anyone. It's not like she's doing one-on-one sexual roleplays or anything like that as far as I'm aware. I'm pretty sure this is just the equivalent of making people pay for bikini photos that you'd normally show publicly on Instagram. Anyway, but fucking sure, let's just say that this fits the modern definition of cucking for argument's sake. Let's even say that she is doing personal RPs where she has cybersex and takes photos of her nipples and her vajazzled clitoris to show to her loyal customers that idubbbz is by all accounts a virtual cucklord. Let's say that's the truth aspect of your insult. That's fine and all, but where is the negative aspect? Is there something wrong with being a cuck? Like I said, obvious common sense to some, profound heresy to others. What is the actual problem with cuckoldry of this nature? Once again, we are assuming Ian is 100% okay with all of this and that his girlfriend isn't callously toying with his emotions. Which, while I know might sound unthinkable to some, is what I'm leaning towards believing. Keep in mind, there are men who engage in actual real-world cuckoldry where they get off on their wife having sex with other men. They're certainly fine with it. Is it really hard to believe that there are men who are fine with their girlfriends sharing lewd photos with people? Do you think every cam girl on Twitch thought is single? I haven't even considered opening an OnlyFans or anything like that, but my significant other has expressed nothing but excitement time and time again at the idea of me being publicly lewd. Because the idea that they're the only one allowed to see my thigh is so non-existent to them that all they feel is the happiness that comes from seeing me being risque. They are the #1 consumer of McElray Rule 34. When I joked about selling body pillows with myself, all they had to say was, "Ooh, I'd love to buy one." What was I talking about again? Sorry, I got distracted by how much I love Avery. The question was, what is the actual problem with being idubbbz's supposed branded cuck? We're ruling out the possibility of it negatively impacting the relationship, both because he says it doesn't, and also because I'm not actually naive enough to think that's the main thing people are concerned about. I just wanted to tackle the reasonable concern before moving on to the... Jesus Christ. Now, first of all, I'm not here to rain on anyone's meme parade. Some of it is like... I mean, dude, Leafy coming back from the dead after 2 years of silence just to say, "Dude, you're a fucking cuck," and then presumably disappear again. That is actually undeniably fucking hilarious. I can't sit here and pretend it isn't. People poking fun at this is fine, but there are others who are taking this very seriously. I also want to say I'm not here to be a white knight. I think idubbbz already has a pretty solid defense for himself. He's a big boy with a lot of subscribers, and he'll ultimately be fine despite his video's dislike ratio. I'm not here to defend him from his detractors, I'm here to offend his detractors. You people are fucking stupid! Here we have a tweet that reads, JonTron went on an extremely misinformed racist tirade and his fans stood by him like he was Jesus Christ, but idubbbz says he's cool with his GF being a sex worker and they lose their minds. Now, I'm not here to talk about JonTron, but this tweet had some interesting takes in the replies that I thought I'd share. Punkcake says, John was expressing his opinion. idubbbz is an actual cucklord. Once again, not here to talk about JonTron, but this is going off the idea that he expressed racist opinions, which this guy is kind of acknowledging by saying it was an opinion. And he thinks that is not as bad as being a cucklord. Interesting. I say he, but this could very well be a very stupid woman, I'm not sure. JonTron apologized and moved on, unlike idubbbz so far. Apologize, idubbbz! Apologize for supporting your girlfriend! How dare you! Now, I saw this one and I, of course, immediately assumed this was a joke. Like, fucking obviously, no one would actually just come out and say this outright. Then I scrolled down a little bit and she's actually arguing. Sleeping around can actually kill. Getting HIV can be deadly if you can't afford the treatment. Yeah, she's actually arguing that cuckoldry is worse than racism. As if this is even what we're talking about right now. We're talking about fucking sending lewd pictures on the internet. Also, this argument is basically just don't have sex. Like, if you're sleeping around with a million people willy-nilly and you're not, like, being careful using condoms and stuff like that, then yeah, that's dangerous. But, like, most cuckoldry involves, like, consenting relationships, like, a chosen why am I even— Shut up, bitch! This is the equivalent of, you know those fucking white checkmark folks who are just the most passive-aggressive pieces of shit ever, where they just post reaction gifs from, like, TV shows of, like, people rolling their eyes and being like, well, you know, when they don't actually have any argument, so they're just like, hello there, that's a big yikes from me. This is just the word yikes disguised in a hip, cool package. Why don't we look at the comment sections of idubbbz video? Let's see here. Alright. Got people calling each other roasties, very good. Man, he's becoming a loser. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's not anything concrete, it's just the idea that, man, you're not a man anymore, you're a loser and a cuck, and I can't believe I ever looked up to you. Like, he's still the same dude, he's just fine with the fact that this is like the final straw for people, not the fact that his girlfriend's a terrible person, as they say. Again, I haven't looked into that, so I don't fucking know. But like, the fact that he is now a cucklord in their eyes, that's the actual problem here. That is the final straw, that's the worst thing that has ever happened. PewDiePie made a video where he pretty much just rightfully asked, why do you all care? Which is a very good question, but then he appraises a vagina as being less valuable if multiple people are seeing current photos of it?
And then there's no special pity. It doesn't become less valuable the more people see it.
I mean, I think it's right in this sense. If there was past photos, it would not be less valuable. But if it's current photos, I would argue yes.
Bitch, what? Do you have a monetary value you'd attach to it? Are you an investor in the pussy pick stock market? He doesn't really give any reasoning for this because there isn't any. It's based on a nebulous feeling we're all used to having that feels right because we don't really think about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, if a bunch of people somehow saw Avery's eldritch envy genitalia, I'd be a little upset and feel like they're getting what should belong entirely to me. But just because I and most others feel that doesn't mean it's fundamentally rational. It's totally possible to just not care, and there's nothing wrong with that. This implies there's nothing wrong with dating or being a sex worker. Yep, this is true, there is nothing wrong with it. You look like someone who would defend sex workers. Oh, you really thought that was an insult, didn't you? Not really, just the fact most average to good-looking guys have the self-respect to not let or support women sucking and fucking hundreds of other guys. Why do you care? Why do you fucking care? It doesn't affect you. I guess you probably got hurt in the past by someone who cheated on you with a bunch of other dudes, but that doesn't mean that you fucking shut the fuck up. Not let them. Should we put them on leashes? Should we keep them in a cage so they can't go and find the peepees? As long as no one's being cheated on and everyone's okay, what's the fucking problem? I swear to God, these are the same people who think you're a bitch if your wife makes more money than you, who unironically say no homo after hugging their male friends. I thought we were past this. This is what all those fellas, is it gay to masturbate? I mean, you're literally touching a man's dick, memes we're making fun of. It's this arbitrary and regressive idea of what masculinity should be like, where you have to follow a set of rules no matter what, even if there's literally no reason to. And the only argument they have is simply stating a buzzword. Bro, you can't let your girl show lewd pictures to other guys? Why not? Because cuckoldry. It's just really disappointing to see because I thought we were finally starting to realize how counterproductive and nonsensical this idea of masculinity is. If you want to be a proper man, then you need some sort of example to follow. Don't get peer pressured by your dumbass friends into following this shit. Just watch JoJo. Or hell, ReZero. I'm sure there'll be people who see this video and think they're super clever by just commenting something like, sounds like cuck talk to me. And I mean, you're free to do that, but you don't have to. It is entirely within your right to choose to be a dumbass, but anyone with half a brain is gonna look at you and see a pathetic excuse for a man. And I'm a fucking bisexual femboy who's in denial about being a furry. Imagine being less of a man than me. Pathetic.